Hi, so for this video, we will be talking about monosaccharide derivatives and their reactions. So first, I will introduce you to the four classes of monosaccharide derivatives, which is 1, amino sugars, 2, carboxylic acid sugars, 3, alcohol sugars, and 4, deoxy sugars. So hopefully by the end of this video, you should understand each one of these concepts and their structures and be able to name them as well as looking at the diagram and being able to differentiate between the four. So first off, we're going to start with the amino sugars. And in an amino sugar, a hydroxyl group, OH, of a monosaccharide has been replaced by an amino group, which is NH2. And as you can see in this diagram that I drew here, instead of having a hydroxyl group, there is now an amino group, which also changes its name to D-glucosamine. And the reason why there's an amine at the end is because of the amine group that has been added. Next, we have the carboxylic acid sugars. And in a carboxylic acid sugar, an aldehyde group, CHO, of a monosaccharide has been replaced by a carboxyl group, COOH. So, another thing with carboxylic acid sugars is they are oxidized. As you can see here, this little O in the box from D-glucose to D-gluconic acid is that it now has an extra oxygen. And so here, instead of having just one hydrogen or one oxygen group, it has now another one. And because it's an acid, you have to change the ending to oic and also add acid. It's not just D-glucose anymore. So just to check to see if you're taking in the concept, we have a understanding check. So it says, name the Fisher projection as an amino sugar or as a carboxylic acid. So if you want to take a pause and look at the problem, I will reveal the answer after you are done. Okay, so if you pause the video, as you can see, this NH group right here means that is an amino group. So that amino group is a amino sugar because of the amine group. All right, next we have alcohol sugars. And alcohol sugars are sometimes also called sugar alcohols, and they are derived when the carbonyl group C double bond O is let's see, that's not right. Oh, we know this is right. Okay, so the carbonyl group C double carbon O of a monosaccharide is being reduced. So we just oxidized and now we are reducing. And with reducing, we are taking away. So instead of having this double bond of the carbonyl group, now we have a OH group, a hydroxyl group instead. So as you can see, it went from the carbonyl group, reduced, this is the form for reduced, and then to a hydroxyl group. And this changes the name from D-glucose to sorbitol, which is an alcohol sugar. And for the last part of this video, we have deoxy sugars. So deoxy sugars are derived when a hydroxyl group, such as OH here, in a monosaccharide is replaced by a hydrogen atom. And for an example, a hydrogen atom is right here. This is just one regular hydrogen atom. It goes from a hydroxyl group here to a hydrogen atom. And that's the main difference between the two, which is not too difficult to understand. And it goes from D-ribose to D2-deoxyribose. And that's where some people, again, kind of forget, because with the other ones, you didn't have to label where this difference took place, where this reaction took place. So for this, you have to label the carbons 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. So as you can see, it goes 1, 2, so it's on number 2. So it goes to D2-deoxyribose. And lastly, I have a little question, or 4 questions for you guys to see if on a test you would be able to decipher between the reactions and their names as well. So if you want to click pause, I will show you each of the 4 questions. So here are the first 2. And then here are the second 2. Once you click pause, you can unpause and I will reveal the answers. So for answer number 1, we have a deoxy sugar. As you can see, because instead of having a hydroxyl group, there is an H group instead, an H atom. And for number 2, instead of having a carbonyl group, now there is a hydroxyl group instead. And for number 3, there is now an amino group replacing the hydroxyl group, making it an amino sugar. And for number 4, there is a OH, a hydroxyl group, now present, which means something was oxidized, meaning this is a carboxylic acid sugar. If you didn't get any of these right, it's probably best to go back and review the examples and the technique that was done. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helped definitely with your chem concepts. Thank you.